Okay, so this is a playback of me beating Metroid 2 earlier today, Metroid 1 earlier today, and well, basically it's gonna let you see me beat Metroid. There we go. I'm using Hypercam to record this. So this is the first time I've ever actually been in Tourian in Metroid 1 ever in my life. I've first played this game probably 20 years ago, at least. I think my Uncle Earl had a copy, and then later a buddy of mine named James Gadd had a copy. But I didn't visit either of them too often, particularly James and he moved away before too long. That was in junior high. So I didn't really get to play it much. I played it one other time that I remember in one of those Play Choice arcade boxes, and it just seemed fucking impossible. Metroid. So hard. If you've played it, then you'll know. Well, what happens is the enemies do quite a bit of damage, particularly until you get the barrier suit, which was mistranslated originally as Varia, and now it's just become, that's what people call it, the Varia suit. But it's because the Japanese language doesn't have a V, I'm pretty sure, and that's why it happened, and it's supposed to mean barrier, because what it does, it creates a barrier. Anyway, it's a little hard to control. It expects some real precision from you, and little mistakes can just clean you right out. Also, every time you start the game, it starts you with 30 health. You know, and particularly in the late game when you have 6 tanks, you've got 699 max health. You just have to spend all this time farming enemies for energy and missiles, and the drop rate is really pretty low, especially sometimes. I've run back and forth killing enemies and had 30 of them in a row not give me a damn thing. They'll give you missiles when you don't need missiles, they'll give you energy when you don't need energy. It's challenging, and it expects you to kind of work your way through quite a bit of tedium, actually. Aside from that, basically, if they had made it A so that the enemies dropped higher amounts of energy, not more frequently, but just higher amounts, fix that. Fix the ice beam. The ice beam is completely messed up and screwy in this game. The thing you gotta understand is I started with Metroid 2 Return of Samus on the Game Boy, and ever since then, enemies stay froze when you freeze them, and they just take more damage the more you shoot them. In this game, the first shot freezes them, and the second shot damages them and unfreezes them, which means you have to shoot enemies twice as many times with the ice beam, but the ice beam is so strong in utility you wouldn't want to use anything else. So it's extremely tough. The third thing that could have been different that would have really helped, I would say, if you could combine the ice beam with the wave beam. Pretty much, if they had fixed those things, and the save state issue, where, you know, you have to start every single session of playing this game with no freaking health, it would have been a timeless 10 out of 10 of a game. As it is, it's great, and it started something pretty awesome. Metroid's really nice. And, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Metroid 2 and Super Metroid. And Metroid Fusion was pretty cool, although extremely linear. and kind of a no-brainer. But I've played all four and beaten all four here. You can see me, I'm taking out these Metroids like I freaking hate them, because I really do. I'll tell you this, the challenge in Metroid lends itself to create a real sense of satisfaction when you make progress. I got the high jump boots, and then later, pretty shortly thereafter, I fell into a pit and I thought I was screwed, and then I, reflexively hit the jump button, and I got out and I was like, yes, I'm out! Okay, here I am, I'm a little nervous. I'm entering into Tourian now. Here we go. Now I'm really interested because I actually use save states quite a bit here, so I'm curious to see if it eliminated my save state. This is the first time I've ever used this. So I think it is actually kind of tool assisted, and it's only going to show you the playthrough that was kept, so to speak. It's hard to explain unless you've used save states before. But basically you can hit a button and it saves the state of the game. And then you can hit another button anytime and pop back to it. And that's what I used to beat Metroid, and I won't even lie, and I wouldn't have done it except for these massive balance issues that it has that I've already discussed. But I freaking love Metroid, and I wanted to play through it at least in some way, and I find it excusable, because I mean, look at how hard of a time I'm having here. I did not breeze through this. This was freaking challenging. You're going to see I get pretty low in health before long here, and I'm kind of panicking. I should be just going more slowly and taking care of these rings over here, but I'm like, oh my god, I'm in Tourian, shoot everything. That's how I always act when I enter into an area for the first time, and especially if I know it's a dangerous area. Like when I went and fought Kraid, I just got right up in his face and was like, eat my missiles. So luckily that worked. Blowing a lot of missiles here. And these barriers I'm shooting right now, it's called Zebetite. It regenerates at a pretty ridiculous rate. I think if you don't hit it after 2 or 3 seconds, it just goes poop. So, gosh. I'm like, oh my god, switch to freaking Ice Beam, Josh. Stop freaking out. What in the world am I doing here? I think this might have gotten broken or something. I don't know what the hell is... I think this makes no sense at all. I think the movie must have gotten screwed up somehow. Well, that's funny. Well, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna play it right now and see if I can... Oh, I can't beat it now. I'm dead. Well, I died. Isn't that funny? I swear to God I beat it. Something got messed up with the movie. That's weird. I'm gonna try to capture the rest of it later. We'll see what happens. I don't know.